Hello everyone. Today we are going to take up the study of the hyoid bone. First, let us try to place the hyoid bone in the neck. So where exactly is the hyoid bone? It is somewhere here, just below the floor of the mouth and just posterior to the chin. So if we need to draw the hyoid bone would be, I think, somewhere here. This is the best representation of the hyoid bone. So this is the hyoid bone, and this here is the laryngeal prominence or the Adam's apple. This is actually the prominence of the thyroid cartilage. So the thyroid cartilage would be somewhat like this. This is the thyroid cartilage and this is the hyoid bone. So it is placed, the body of the hyoid bone is this anterior portion over here. This is the body of the hyoid bone, and this posterior part is the greater cornu of the hyoid bone. And in this picture you can make out the other things which are pointed out. For instance, this here is an outline of the sternocleidomastoid. This is the sternal head. This is the clavicular head. You can make this out, and again you can make out the outline of the trapezius. This here is the trapezius muscle. So you have the trapezius over here. This is the trapezius. So sternocleidomastoid, sternal head, clavicular head, trapezius, and then again you can also make out the outline of the clavicle. So this is actually the clavicle. This is the clavicle over here, and somewhere here is the suprasternal notch. This over here is the suprasternal notch. So now you know where exactly the hyoid bone is situated, and from here we will go into the further details of the hyoid. Now let us try to draw the hyoid bone. If we make an attempt to draw the hyoid bone, it would probably look somewhat like this. This is the body of the hyoid bone that we are trying to draw. Somewhere here, this is the greater horn or greater cornu of the hyoid bone. Another greater cornu of the hyoid bone. At the junction of the body and the greater cornu, we are drawing the lesser cornu or the lesser horns of the hyoid bone. So this is what the hyoid bone actually looks like. You have a body here, you have a pair of greater horns which end in expanded tubercles, and at the junctions of the body and greater horn you have these small lesser horns which may be bony, may be cartilaginous, may be fibrous even. And now we are going to place all our attachments here. The thing to note is that this body has got an anterior surface and a posterior surface. So it is flattened somewhat anteroposteriorly. But as we move from the body to the greater horns are flattened from above below. So they have an upper surface and they have a lower surface, and they have a lateral margin and they have a medial margin. Whereas the body has got an anterior surface, a posterior surface, an upper border and a lower border. So there is some amount of twisting here. From an anteroposterior flattening, it goes to a supero-inferior flattening from the body to the greater horns. Now if we try to place all the attachments over here, let's see what they will look like. First of all, coming from below, close to the midline, we have the two sternohyoid muscles, and by their sides we have the omohyoid muscles. So somewhere here. This is the sternohyoid and another sternohyoid, and by the side this is the omohyoid and another omohyoid. So sternohyoid and omohyoids side by side. Apart from that, slightly deep to this sternohyoid and omohyoid, we have thyrohyoid. So thyrohyoid will be somewhere here. Suppose this is the thyrohyoid at the junction of the body and the greater horn. So this would be the thyrohyoid muscles. So we have placed the infrahyoid muscles, the sternohyoid, the omohyoid and the thyrohyoid. And now from this anterior surface we will have muscles going upwards. That is, we will have the mylohyoid, the geniohyoid and the genioglossus, of which you see the muscle which is going to be the most superficial is going to be the mylohyoid muscle. So the mylohyoid muscle we will have to draw somewhere here. This then is the mylohyoid muscle, and then deep inside the mylohyoid you have the geniohyoid muscle. So the geniohyoid muscle is this one. U shape it. So these are the geniohyoids. So from the upward going muscle you have mylohyoid, deep to the mylohyoid you have geniohyoid, and still deep to it you have genioglossus. So this is genioglossus, this is genioglossus, the two genioglossi. So again you have sternohyoid, omohyoid, thyrohyoid coming from below, and then you have mylohyoid, geniohyoid and genioglossus going up. And now from the body we are trying to go into the greater cornu. If you go from the body to the greater cornu, you have two important muscles. One is the middle constrictor muscle on the inner side, and one is the hyoglossus muscle on the outer side. Let us first try to draw the hyoglossus muscle. So you have the hyoglossus muscle like this. This is the hyoglossus. So we have drawn the hyoglossus muscle indenting into the geniohyoid, and now we are left with middle constrictor. So here you have the middle constrictor. You can see that it is partly attached to the lesser cornu of the hyoid bone and partly to the greater cornu. So middle constrictor and hyoglossus, you have them both over here. Apart from that, you have slips of a muscle called the chondroglossus going up from this lesser cornu into the tongue. Now apart from these muscles that are attached here, you have some other small muscles. What are these? One is the stylohyoid. Now the stylohyoid here is rather fibrous, and it is splitting into a double point attachment. So you have the stylohyoid muscle over here, and actually this split attachment is going to provide a loop for the passage of the intermediate tendon of the digastric. And again to this lesser cornu you have the attachment of the stylohyoid ligament. It is what actually suspends the lesser cornu and the hyoid bone from the styloid process. Apart from these, there are certain other features which we still have to draw, but in a subsequent video.